Yes, and good afternoon. Welcome to this conversation here on Monday, July 25th. We're going to be talking about finding clarity in uncertain times. And how important is that for perhaps many of us these days? Finding clarity in uncertain times, and as the world becomes more uncertain, I believe it's critical that you and I increase our own certainty. And the best way to do that is by getting clarity of our future. Clarity of our future. I believe that clarity is power. And I often use the magnifying glass scenario. We take the magnifying glass and we marshal the sun's energies through the magnifying glass, and it concentrates to a really fine focal point, totally focused. And we know there's power there, same as a laser beam. It's the same principle. And so for me, that it's about getting clarity, and for you probably, if you're a socially conscious and a spiritually oriented entrepreneur or employee, maybe you're feeling insecure or uncertain about your future, especially these days with all the talk about a recession, or maybe you have job security concerns, or maybe you're looking to change jobs because you dislike what you're currently doing. Like 63 to 78% of employees, dislike their work. They're disengaged. They feel overworked and underpaid. They've lost their passion, and it's a bad place to be. Or they're frustrated because there's no opportunities for advancement. I know I can remember the time when I was working some contract work, and that I just had this moment of clarity. I kind of had this epiphany, and I kind of woke up in that I shouldn't be doing what I was doing. I was selling, a powerful sales training system, and it was fantastic. But I just realized I should not be doing this. I am off purpose doing this as good as I was at it, and as good as the product was as it. And so I tended to follow my heart to what was fulfilling, what was on purpose for me. And so clarity, right? So creating clarity of our future gives us power, it gives us confidence, it gives us opportunities. So we know where we're going. And I think one of the challenges with we hear all this recession talk, and we, if we look, we'll see more evidence. But if we're not focused there, and we're focused on what our clarity is, I often call it clarity, of our calling. That as we focus there, then we're going to see more opportunities and evidence. I know for me, over the last 2 years, that during the pandemic, that I was so focused on helping people discover their purpose and their greatest passion and increase their performance, that I was so focused in a really good way on that I barely saw all the news and social media about how bad the pandemic was. Certainly I was aware of it, but I was not focused on it. So again, we're talking about focus. And if I was to share my top 3 life lessons in my decades of life experience, I would say number 1 is our power of choice. That every moment we're thinking, either consciously or unconsciously. Much of our thought process is unconscious, but it's still, we're still thinking, and we're still having impact. Am I focused? What we know that what we focus on expands. We know that, but to what degree do we do that? And so, if I have a choice of focusing on fear or faith, we know that whichever one I focus on will expand. And I had a pretty powerful experience with this back in the last recession. So I actually have some experience. I had my own corporate training business for 22 years, worked with 22,000 people over that period of time, like 1,000 people per year, paid clients. The last great recession in 2009, I'm working extremely hard. I'm working with corporate clients, for many years. But during that period, I was working for a full year and had zero income. Why? because typically corporations spend $0 on trainers and speakers when there's a recession happening. And so I unfortunately went into a place of hopelessness, and I would never wish hopelessness upon anyone. It's a really, really bad place to be. And then one morning, I remember it clearly. I'm sitting in my side office over here, 2009, February morning, bleak morning. And I was just sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. And I decided I would never choose to feel hopeless ever again. And then the light bulb went off. I had an epiphany. I realized, well, yes, Gary, it's just a choice. You can choose hope. You can choose hope, or you can choose hopelessness. You can choose faith, or you can choose fear. And I decided in that moment I would never choose, fear or hopelessness ever again. And then I would choose. Right? I can choose my thoughts, even though we may need to reprogram our brain patterns to some extent. That my greatest power is my power of choice. I can choose to focus on and think of faith and look for the positives and so on out of that. And what was most interesting, and out of that came, and I felt called to, and I often follow my heart. I felt called to clean up my own stinking, negative, cynical thinking, and interview a number of successful people, business leaders, communities leaders, church leaders, and what I saw was that God, the universe, the creator, his faithfulness was so great that he enabled these high quality people to overcome some major life crises like divorce or serious illness like cancer or bankruptcy or loss of a loved one. And so we're talking about evidence. What evidence are you collecting? And so when I saw that evidence, it raised my faith like from a 2 out of 10 to like an 8 out of 10. And it was that faith really that enabled me to pay off the $50,000 in credit card debt that I had. I was living off my credit card as a single family income earner. And so yeah, choosing faith over fear is fundamental. We need to retrain ourselves and look for the positives, look for the evidence, and not get sucked into all the recession talk. I'm serious, especially if you're in your own business, you know what I'm referring to. It's like I was and I am. And the other thing I realized in any of those times, especially recessionary times, was that I had to maximize my attitude, which is just what we're talking about here, choosing faith over fear, staying focused on the positive, looking for the opportunities. And I had to maximize my activity level. I had to be focused on high payoff activities. And take inspired action, not just action, but inspired action. Inspired action, I think, is also most powerful and productive because we're kind of following our heart, we're following our soul, we're led, we're following the wisdom of our heart. And there's wisdom and intelligence in our heart. And we talk a lot more about this in the coaching that we do and in some of the training we do to help people get clarity, especially in this uncertain time. Getting clarity in uncertain times is power. And having a definite of purpose. And Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich book, which many of us recognize, which is it's classic. And there's one quote in there that really crystallizes much of this, and this is the quote: there is one quality which one must possess to win, and that is definiteness of purpose, clarity of purpose, the knowledge of what one wants, and a burning desire to possess it. So this is where the power comes in, following your heart, being clear in what that is, and taking massive inspired action. And so that's what we're doing in this season to help people to be clear and to really save them time and frustration and money and trial and error in trying to get clarity, especially if they're in their own business or maybe you're in transition, or maybe you want to leave your job. Then understand what is your what's the calling upon your heart, upon your life. And this is not just woo-woo stuff. This is real. And there's all kinds of statistics that suggest that for on-purpose people, and we're talking about discovering and following your purpose, there's all kinds of statistics that that reveal that. That when we have clarity of our purpose and we follow our purpose, we will be higher performing. That for purpose-driven individuals and purpose-driven companies, it has a huge impact. And there's a lot of research that was done by some reputable firms on that. And I may just reference that here briefly, as we're probably going to wrap up here in the next 5 minutes. And I want to make you really a great offer to help. Yes, and so yeah, you can always check out the benefits of purpose, www.thescienceofpurpose.org, which reflects how it affects when we're on purpose, when we have clarity of our calling, clarity for our future. It affects our ability to lead and improves that by 50%. It improves our career. It improves our ability to earn income. Improves our relationships. Improves our health even. It's amazing. And yeah, so pretty powerful statistics there. And so we want to help you to do that. And Rosa Lakaising and I have partnered together on this important topic of obtaining clarity, especially of your calling and your career. And she also comes with 25 years of experience in employment placement and career placement. So great resource there as well. So we're here to serve you and help you get clarity on your future, so you can have more certainty. You can take massive, focused, inspired action. You can have greater impact and influence and success in your own life and the lives of others. So what we're offering here is an opportunity for a complimentary 20 to 30 minute clarity coaching call. We'll put the URL in the here after our post here for our clarity coaching discovery call. So you can book that anytime this week would be fantastic, and we look forward to talking with you then, because we know that there's power and clarity, and that there is a seed of greatness within each one of you. There's a seed of greatness within you, which becomes most alive when we have clarity of our purpose, clarity of our calling. So look forward to being of service to you. Just to book a time in our Calendly discovery call link, which will be provided here below. So thank you for joining us here today or watching thereafter. And we look forward to talking with you very, very soon. So thank you. Have a great day.